Sports Talk Radio.
Welcome to Sports Talk Radio.
Sports Talk.
I wish I had that echo like that. Radio.
That's about it, man. You know we got the best soundtrack in the country. Shout out to our soundtrack, man.
Yes.
Sports Talk Radio.
Yes. Thank you guys for joining, for tuning in.
This is Sticks Mitchell.
Nikki Marie.
Your boy M Extra.
We're going to start this off with talking about a podcast that I seen the other day. It's actually hosted by one of our co-hosts, Nikki Marie, and I'm just intrigued. You know, it's called Bridging the Gap.
Yes.
And, you know, it's got a lot of layers to it. Why don't you peel a few of those for us?
Yeah, break it down for us.
So you guys know I'm like always on the go, always doing something. So Bridging the Gap is a way to connect creatives, entrepreneurs, authors, and all of that stuff. And I have a co-host named Dapper J.
Yeah, I like that guy, man.
Yeah, he's
dressed nice, man.
He's basically like a music manager.
Okay.
And we kind of like partnered up and just, we're trying to, you know, bring people from the UK over to the US and
bridge the gap.
Yeah, bridge that gap.
Okay.
Shout out to Public Sector Entertainment, who's kind of like holding us down with some artists and stuff. They'll be over here next month performing and interviewing.
So this is the quiet time where nobody knows what's going on. Y'all just building. Everybody think y'all playing around. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
What I took from it was different people, you know, sharing ideas. You know, she was with, you know, a dude that looked like he just got out of jail, and another dude that looked like he was, you know, owning a business. I know, it was some big dude with a beard. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, that's cool, you know. But he was really intellectual. I like the conversations. You know, I judge every book by its cover.
He's never been.
I gotta, like I said, peel the layers. I like to, you know, get to know what's going on.
It's getting ready to say, Nick, watch the company you keep it.
I'm with y'all.
Okay. Let's get to this. Let's get to this NFL talk. Listen. Let's get to this NFL talk. Saints and the Rams and the no call of the century.
All right, hold on.
Maybe a history.
Okay, I'm a little selfish with this one.
Yeah, because you want the Rams to win.
The Rams, you know, they took it.
Yeah, you got
but that was terrible. They should have had a penalty flag on that call. I mean, penalty flag.
I think they should have got the penalty flag, but I feel like the Rams had ample opportunities. I mean, the Saints, had ample opportunity to win the game. They got the ball first in overtime, and they left a lot of points on the board. I think nobody's talking about the fact that Drew Brees didn't play really well. He missed a lot of easy throws that he normally makes. I think he's starting to look his age more so than Tom Brady, actually. So I think we got to deal with the real also in this. You know, it was a bad missed call, but we've seen those things happen before. Charles Woodson, Tom Brady wouldn't even been his first Super Bowl had it not been for the tuck rule. So we've seen big calls like this affect playoff games, affect regular season games. It's just something that happens. It's human error. Referees have a lot of pressure on them during these playoff games, just like the players do. So they're trying to stay out of the way and, you know, not affect the game or change up the outcomes. And it was just an honest mistake.
Well, do you guys think that if they would have called this, if they would have made the call, this?
I mean, it's one call. It's one call. If the NFL came out, you know, within 24 hours and said they made a mistake. But what they also pointed out that there was 6 or 7 other missed calls in the whole thing. So the way I look at it is a game of adjustments. You know, Sean Payton didn't make as many adjustments as Sean McVay. He just didn't. Man, this young guy, 32 years old, is blossoming right before our eyes. You know, he said, okay, I'm going to take away the run, and I'm going to make Drew Brees pass the ball. That's what he did, Mike. He put everything on Drew Brees.
But I think
he took away Kamara. He took away Kamara and Ingram. That's hard to do, man.
I think Sean Payton was a little arrogant also in his play calling. I think that he was being too aggressive at the end of the game where he should have been running the ball, trying to milk the clock out and make sure that the Rams didn't get back.
He would have ran the ball if he could. They had 50 rushing yards between 2 all-pro running backs, man. Yeah. His scheme was, I'm taking away the run, and I'm going to make Drew Brees pass the ball over long rushing defenders. They kept rushing up the middle, so they would make him have to use the ends. You get that guy moving, he's already 5'10", and it was a perfect scheme.
And then DeMarcus Cousins played a great game as well, also in between the tackles.
You know, I mean, that's why they went out and spent all that money. They had the first or second highest, you know, salary in the league. You know, Talib, Sue, they go get all these guys, Peters. They're betting on the Super Bowl. So basically, they bet cashed out.
I think the Saints had ample opportunity to win.
Yeah, it's a back and forth game. Back
one
and forth
call
game.
doesn't.
But it's all about adjustments. It's all about adjustments. Look, after the Saints got their field goal, didn't the Rams come right back down and score?
Yeah.
All right, Sean McVay got those guys.
First of all, they got a lot of threes instead of sevens throughout the game.
Exactly. They play defense where it counts.
You know,
goal
Saints
line.
didn't capitalize on a lot of
How do the Patriots? Same thing the Patriots do. They'll give up 60, 70 yards every drive. Yeah. They'll give up 3. That's it.
But you say that it was a mistake for this call not to happen, but is it a matter of timing?
Well, I think the thing was that if they do make the call, the Saints would have had the opportunity to possibly burn out the clock. So that's why everybody is up in arms like this, because if they would have made the call, then it would have gave the Saints the opportunity to just sit on the ball, and then the game would have been over. But, you know, like I said, Sean Payton was being real arrogant with the play call and real aggressive, you know, in spots where he should have been being a little bit more conservative. Wow. And who knows what he would have done. I
still put it on adjustments, because Sean Payton, Mike's right about the goal line, not about the rest of the game. I think being aggressive with Drew Brees in the middle of the field is what you got to do. You got a guy who's been to the promised land before. Why wouldn't you give him the ball? Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is around the goal line where that play happened, should have been probably using his backs. Yeah. You know what I mean? Once you get inside 10, you got to start chiming away. You can use that clock, like you said. That's not going to stop the clock passing. So that's when he should have used his discretion and start the run, was when he got towards the goal line. Let's move on. We could be talking about this forever, and everybody else is. You know, people are going crazy. They're up in arms. They want to change rules and, you know, like add replay to the pass interference, which is ridiculous. I've never heard that before. Yeah. So
people are actually asking for a rematch.
It's ridiculous. We're living in an excuse world. You know, you got to give a reason as to why you lost. You can't just say you lost.
The dynasty continues.
Yeah, the dynasty continues.
I told you guys last week I don't bet against Tom Brady, man.
I mean, you bet with all these young quarterbacks and lost all those games, so that's why you picked Tom Brady. Don't try to play us.
Hold on, man. I came in here and I told you I was going to redeem myself last week.
So you bet with an older quarterback like you're supposed to. Don't bet with a rookie second-year quarterback. Don't try to delve into the
formula that was behind my picks. Just focus on the fact that I made better picks this week, you know?
Yeah, okay.
Let's
he took the advice of an elder statesman.
Yeah,
but listen, regardless of what happened, it was a great game. Pat Mahomes will be back there. He will make a Super Bowl. Yeah. And Andy Reid kind of answered some questions, but he's still got a lot to do. He's got to take that Howell team. They got to figure out what's going to happen with Kareem Hunt. I hear that he's doing a lot of rehab, and you know he's got a therapist, and the girl that he kicked, he's still with her. So the NFL is a forgiving league when you're that good. So hopefully they can get.
Well, his future isn't with the Chiefs. And first of all, the Chiefs have already fired their defensive coordinator, so they're already looking to hire somebody else to fill that spot.
Yeah, you gotta be looking to get better. I hate when teams win championships or get close to the Super Bowl and don't make changes. Oh no, we're good enough. No. You didn't make it because you need something.
Yeah,
but I think sometimes you have to guard against making too many changes as well. We see that happen a lot of times also, where teams devalue guys and get rid of them or allow.
No, we've seen guys get their head big after a championship and want more money and want special treatment. And I'm not putting up with it.
Teams try to be cheap also. Teams try to be cheap also, and we see how it affects them. You see, that's why it's a lot of times where there's no repeat champions in football, you know.
Barely repeat champions in basketball for those same reasons. But the thing about basketball is dynasties stick together. Right. Mm-hmm. You know, I've never seen anything like the Patriots. But the Patriots.
Well, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I've never seen that happen. Like, a team really have consistent success and not really any locker room issues. You know, Josh Gordon came and went. Nobody made a big ruckus about it.
You know, I think that's just the Patriot way. Bill Belichick just doesn't allow for his players to divulge too much information to the media. He just doesn't allow it. So
but
you can get cut for that.
I can tell when two guys don't like each other. You know what I mean? Like there's no animosity on that team. It's just it's one for all and all for one.
They don't allow you to show it.
No, I love it. I love it. I wish I could find that and bottle it up, man. I give me one of these college gigs.
Man. Yeah, keep everything in house.
They're giving money away in NCAA. Whew. Let's talk about DeMarcus Cousins since we're on the basketball.
Yeah.
He came back to the Warriors. His first basket was a tomahawk slam.
Yeah, DeMarcus.
And he looked good, man. He looked real good. I'm happy for him.
Coming off the injury, yeah.
And when he's coming out of Kentucky, man, guys were talking about he's gonna go to jail. He's gonna get in all this trouble. Yeah, he's misunderstood. Man, I know tons of huge guys who everybody, when they walk into a door, everybody jump back. And they kind of do that with me. I'm 6'6", so he just gets the wrong impression, man. Everybody on the Warriors says he's a great guy. He's a teammate. It's just amazing how the narrative changes with the team you go to. Because he was like washed up. Like everybody thought he was done. Nobody offered him anything for agency time.
Dipped him in the holy water now. He's come up and he's clean.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
Wait, what?
Quinn Cook in the league. They
get baptized and you get a second chance.
Quinn Cook played for the Warriors. They do something to guys. They make you NBA players. They do. Yeah. They do. They'll revitalize your career. Look at Sean Livingston. He had no needs until he got there. Yeah. Andre Iguodala was on his way out. It's really, they really have a formula to keep guys playing. David West played an extra 2 or 3 years, got a ring.
Fountain of Youth is there, man.
And they even have Maurice Spates looking good. I haven't seen him in 5 years.
Whoa.
You see it? Man, we got to put up a APB
well, I mean,
for him, man.
So the question is, are the Warriors unbeatable now?
That's the question?
That's the question.
But I don't think the Warriors are unbeatable.
Why is that the question? Of course they're unbeatable.
I don't think they're unbeatable.
What's wrong?
I don't think they're unbeatable.
Are you okay?
Listen, the reason why I don't think that they're unbeatable is that I feel like somebody's going to get in the way. I feel like somebody's going to try to do
ego?
a little, somebody's going to try to do a little bit
ego can't stop that machine.
I think it's gonna derail that whole little train that they have.
I don't no. You see, the people say ego with Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman. Egos don't stop those type of trains. Egos are age stop those type of trains.
Dennis Rodman was a specialist. These guys that they have there are all guys who can do a little bit more than what they're asked to do on a nightly basis.
Let me tell you something. They're not Shaq and Kobe, okay? There are no egos on this team. They're just a bunch of guys with one objective. The only guy who thinks objectively on that team is Draymond Green. And they allow him to. That's why they are who they are. If he goes at it with a guy, I play major basketball. When you got a guy that'll go at it with guys, it gives accountability in the locker room. Without him, now everybody's their own entity. He brings everything together. There's nothing bigger than the team. That's why he's continually an all-star. He averaged 8 points.
It's scary thinking about the fact that they could put Kevin Durant at the 4 and play DeMarcus Cousins at the 5 and really go to a spread lineup where they could all 5 players on the floor could shoot the 3-ball, space the floor out, and then potentially put it on the floor as well. That's the quality that we discount with Boogie's game. He can take that ball from the 3-point line on the floor and make plays. He's like a .5. So I think that's the part.
Hey, I like you, Boogie. I hope this comes across you, but bro, don't be dribbling. Don't listen to this guy. Don't be dribbling. Just shoot threes and post up. Don't do too much, man. You a really big guy with a bad Achilles, man. Just stop running, really.
Like try to jog. Really
man.
Suffering any ill effects from that Achilles.
Man, it's the first game. I'm sure he had a lot of ice after that.
It's gonna build.
The first night, adrenaline got him through that.
Right.
It's a long road, man. It's Achilles, and he's 300 pounds.
I think got to benefit from the fact that he's playing in a little bit of a condensed season, though. I think that'll help him.
Yeah. He's got the All-Star break in a little bit, so he'll get about 8 games. Then he'll get a big-time break. So I think they did it the right way. It's a first-class organization.
He's been active way longer than he's actually been playing in games, so I feel like he's right where he needs to be.
Yeah,
definitely.
Championship.
Yeah, he's going to get him a ring. Yeah. He's going to get a ring, and then he's going to get one of them big deals, if he could stay. Of course. Everybody out there jumping ship. It's 3-peat, man. You got to get out of there before it gets too hot. Speaking of hot, I once seen a guy, and I don't like baseball, but, man, I used to watch the Yankees in the postseason.
Yeah.
And 4-2 used to put on a show.
Dang.
Yeah, man. Every time.
A show.
Let me throw my glove on real quick.
Yo, he used to put on a show. I mean, it'd be like they could be down 3 in the 7th. And you normally supposed to bring a dude like that in like the 9th, right? I mean, they just throw him in there in the 7th, and he just like make the offense feel good or something. Like, Mike, this tell us about what happened with Mariano Rivera.
Yeah, headlines.
And how deserving he is of what's going on with him right now.
First of all, I want to touch on the unanimous decision part of it first before we address anything else. Now, the unanimous decision part of it, he's the first player in the history of baseball to be voted in unanimously. And I love Mariano Rivera, but man, did the baseball writers they missed out one-on-one this time, man. You can't. Mariano's the greatest to be a relief pitcher ever. You know, he's the greatest reliever ever. But to put him in unanimously when guys like Jackie Robinson, Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, all of these guys have been enshrined in the Hall of Fame, and none of them were unanimous votes. And for Mariano to be the first guy, and he wasn't even a starter, it's just like, you know, it tainted it a little bit for me to the celebration that I was going to have for him. But Mariano's such a good, genuine person, you know, you can't really be upset about anything that concerns Mariano. So on to the fact that he's into the Hall of Fame now. First ballot, you know, Mariano was just a great reliever, man. Only one time was his ERA over 2. You know, the rate that his home run percentage, the rate that he gave up home runs was less than 1. It was, you know, Mariano was just the greatest, and every time he came into the game, you heard that Enter Sandman song come on. It was just an air of comfortability, you know, like we were able to relax as Yankee fans because we knew that Mariano was going to come through. It was just what he did. It was natural for him.
That guy was super clutch. Super clutch. I mean, you talk about playing in the regular season and making All-Star games, but this guy was playing late in October. He's playing in the postseason every year.
Wow.
And he was just like a clutch for them.
And you talk about longevity, man. I mean, doing it for
But that's what I think the unanimous comes down to is the longevity. Because a lot of those guys had short-lived careers. They didn't play in their 40s.
Well, I mean,
Mariano played well into his 40s.
He played a position that allowed that, though. You know, those guys were impact players in the field. They had to do a little bit more dirty work, and their bodies went through it a little bit more than Mariano. He was only concerned about his arm, where those guys had to be concerned about other things. So, right. So,
well, let's be honest, man. Mariano Rivera was a hard worker.
No. Please, don't take it
for a
that
slim
way.
guy, man. He had huge legs, man.
Right.
Mariano
was a hard worker.
Yes,
you know, whatever you could do to be excellent as a pitcher, he did. You know what I mean? So I feel like, and then he also played a position where you usually see guys that are like big brutes, you know, intimidating.
That's what I'm saying. He was a slim guy,
95. Mariano was more of a finesse guy, a strategic guy. He was one of the smartest pitchers ever.
What was his pitches, man? What was his specialty? I remember he used to drop.
Well, Mariano had his specialty was the cut fastball, you know. And against lefties,
that's at like 96, 97.
Yeah. And what it did was it would tail in on you and get in on your hands on lefties, and you know that was why he was who he was. So Mariano, on top of that, he threw about 98 consistently in his prime also, so he could dial it up when he needed to. So Mariano was just Mariano, man. Like you know, it's just not much you could say. But also Mike Mussina went in. Another Yankee, you know, he was here during the 8-year stretch that we didn't win the championship. But
okay. Hey, before we get out of here, we really don't want to cover all those guys. but listen, I don't want to incriminate.
Mike Mussina was a Yankee, man.
I really don't want to incriminate you. But where did you steal that glove from, bro? I've never seen you with
Hey, man, you know, I used to play this game, man. So you know,
it don't look worn out or nothing. It look fresh.
Yeah, it's brand new.
You just bought that from Modell's.
Nah, I didn't.
Or T was a kid and ran
zoom in on it, man. It's got a little wear and tear on it.
Nah, you ain't use that, man.
Nah, it's got a little wear and tear.
He played baseball.